What is up, everybody? Loopyfist here, followed by my main man S to the T to the G. What's up, dude?
Going on, man? How you been?
I've been okay, man. I've been okay. You know, this is kind of the first time we're doing this little thing right here, trying to go over the OTA. You know, things change on Marvel Snap. They try to mix up the meta a little bit. It's always a fun time for me because I don't like things to stay stagnant. So, how do you feel about that?
Not with you, man. I mean, the game is great because it makes these changes every other week or every week. New card, new balance patches. I think it's phenomenal for the game, right? We don't keep things stale, like you mentioned. And we know everybody's not crying about one thing that's dominant. So that's the best thing about it.
Exactly. Speaking of one thing that's very dominant right now, word on the streets that there is for a while, there's been a big dog hanging around all these decks. And speaking of big, it's been doubling the size of all the decks. Arishem has been a big topic as of late.
That's correct. That is correct. Arishem is in everybody's decks.
Arishem
is one of the best cards in Marvel Snap right now. And just like Loki, we said it. Arishem, everybody's hype. Arishem this, Arishem that. And then a week later, they went off with Arishem's head. Just like Loki.
Yeah.
The card, they see, as it gets into more hands of people, and time passes by, they see how dominant a card could be. They want it nerfed. So hopefully these balance patches kind of help with the Arishem without touching Arishem.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like your favorite food because, actually it's a great analogy. Some people really like burgers. You know, some people don't.
Correct.
I know a guy who's never had a hamburger in his life and he doesn't want to eat one. He just doesn't like it. I know it's rare, but there are some people who don't. And it's crazy because with cards like Loki and Arishem, it's sometimes they're hit or miss, and sometimes they're get or don't get. Because a lot of people are upset because they didn't get to get Arishem. So it's put a bad taste in their mouth. No pun intended. But yeah, like I never liked playing with Loki until I started playing with Loki inside of the Arishem show. I just never liked it.
Of course. Right. No, I get it. It just makes sense to put Loki in there too, right?
Yeah.
It just makes sense. So I'm with you. I didn't play Loki after the first time it was released. So, but yeah, of course he's in the Arishem deck because it just makes sense.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I really like Arishem. I still do like Arishem.
Me too.
But I can't play him all the time like I was when he first came out. Because it feels too dirty, and it also feels, man, it's not overwhelming, but it's almost losing its taste for me because it's a lot.
It's repetitive. And that's being content creators. We tend to beat the hell out of a card that just came out and we play it over and over, even off stream, to make sure we like it or we get a hang of it. And then, we go out and tell people, hey, you should get this card or you shouldn't. But at that point, we were like, all right, we're done with this card. We're tired with it. We want to go on to the next.
Yeah.
And we already go out there and break the meta, right? We make these awesome videos, which shows the best combination. And lo and behold, we are here now. So.
Yep. And it's funny, I don't even think I care about Arishem that much. I think I'm just addicted to the cocaine he has called the +1 energy throughout the match.
Yep.
Being able to drop a 6 on turn 5 is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. And when you get your whole hand, it's even better. Yeah. And I think people are complaining they want Arishem to give you 24 random new cards. I'm like, that is draft mode. That is not fair. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
So I just think Arishem is a great card. And what it does is phenomenal. I think you do have the disadvantage of not having your full suite of cards, but you also get that benefit of dropping multiple cards early. So it kind of weighs itself out. And of course, it sucks when you're going up against cards like Darkhawk or, when Cassandra Nova comes out, her as well. So it's just like, you know what, we're give and take for now. And I think I'm hopefully when we read these notes, Arishem isn't touched at all.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so we got him. The results are in. Good old Mari right there for you.
That's right.
So, so
you are the father.
Exactly. So I think that there are some big things that they're trying to fix with what I've seen. So first on the list, we got changes to Blob.
Yes.
And it's actually something I was not expecting to happen. I think Blob, like a lot of cards that are really good in Marvel Snap, he was doing too much, and they honestly had they had something on there to me that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I think it was more to make it realistic, and that was the whole the text that says ongoing, he can't be moved.
Correct.
And that's going away now.
Yes. I think when he came, this is the second time he's getting touched, right? First time they dialed him down because he was just absorbing every card in your deck and just being massive, right?
Yeah.
He's being massive numbers you couldn't beat in that lane. People prof X one lane, Blob the other. It was becoming a crazy time.
Yes.
They said, okay, now it has to be 15 or more, so you get lucky if you hit the infinite, whatever. Nonetheless, what they did, which I think by removing the ongoing of cannot be moved, is to eliminate the copying from Mystique. And the Rogue. Yes. So I think that works. I think that's great because me playing Arishem, that was kind of my combo. It was like, all right, here we go. Blob early. If we get Ravonna on 2, Blob on 5, Mystique and Taskmaster on 6.
Yes.
I have 3 lanes of 20 or 18 plus power plus whatever I played earlier. It kind of is not fair because what lane are you going to go after, right?
Exactly.
And then in mirror matches, if I rogue, you rogue, just like that, right? I mean, so it's just like, why even bother?
Like
so, yeah, that's exactly what it was. it was, yeah, exactly. If I rogue, you rogue, just like that. That's exactly what it was, man. So, what could have happened? I think what they could have done was find a way to say Mystique, Rogue, and all these other cards that copy or duplicates ongoing abilities. When it comes to cards that have both, it only takes the ongoing. So Mystique should only copy, can't be moved. Rogue should only absorb, it can't be moved. Not the entire text of the card. And I think that's where the problem lies.
I think what they need to do, and this is me, just like you said, some cards that are like that, they need to, for instance, Electro is like that. If you absorb, if you rogue him, you're gonna get that bad penalty, and you never want to do it. I've done it before, but I didn't think about it. This is way back, years ago. I did this, and I was like, oh, this was a bad idea.
Right.
But my thing is maybe they can start to make some cards that has ongoing and then trigger effects, kind of, you know. So like maybe Blob's trigger effect is that he can't be moved. It doesn't have to be an ongoing. Because and that would be a better fix if you ask me, because then you can still, copy it to an extent, but you don't have to worry about it. But I get, and that makes a lot of sense because a lot of these ongoing abilities on these cards that are also on reveal, these hybrid-esque cards, that ongoing ability is something you don't want.
Correct. So, most of them you don't.
Yeah,
100%.
So you would want to Enchantress it, and your opponent would be the person, or you would probably want to do that. So I don't know. It's weird. Also, you're not going to be using these cards in a Sauron deck because there you would lose the on reveal effect.
Well, the crazy part is now you can actually use Blob in a Sauron deck with Shuri.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, now you can.
Yeah,
with Shuri too, right?
Yeah, I like it.
There it is. There it is.
I like it.
So it works. So I mean, the change is great. I think to me, it had to happen.
Yeah,
the mirror matching, the copying was bad.
Being tweaked.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yep. So what else we got?
We got Mockingbird, who went from a 5/9, cost 1 less for each card that's not in play that didn't start in your deck, to a 6/10 with the same ability. And I think what happened here was exactly the same thing. Being in the same card list with Arishem, you're getting cards that didn't start in your deck. And her being a 5/9, you're able to play her on the last turn with a bunch of other cards and not worry about Shang-Chi because it's under the Shang-Chi line.
Exactly.
Mockingbird now being a 6/10.
Yeah. I feel like, just like what you said, they're attacking this Arishem shell because it's too overwhelming right now. Because Mockingbird was working in the Arishem shell. You're laying down all these cards, and by the time by turn 4, you have a free Mockingbird, and you also have Blob coming out, and you also have Mystique coming out behind it. So they had to attack this in multiple ways, because just like Loki was doing back with the Collector era when he was working with that, he's just doing too much. You know, there's like 4 different things that he's working on at the same time, and you can't really have that in one single card because that's too much synergy, and you don't want to have that in a game because then everyone's going to use it. Because people, I think that the average player enjoys winning more than they enjoy playing
retreating
or just playing something different in the game. You know, they want to win.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
winning is fun to them. So
yeah, I just can't do that. I can't play the same list over and over again. It gets me, you know, I can't do it.
I can't either.
So I'm you know, I love to play different cards. You too. I see you love to play different lists, have a good time, and win that way, not just keep playing the same card list. Now, of course, if we're in a tournament, we will play. I mean, we still play that way, I think.
Yeah, honestly, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. I think we have too much fun. And people know from my streams, I love to snap and have a good time. So when things like this happen, when changes like this happen, it's great because it makes people like through their minds look at it and go, am I still gonna play Mockingbird now?
Yeah.
It got a buff.
Something has to step in,
right? Yeah, exactly. So
it's like I'm not a sports guy, you know,
right.
But I'm imagining like your star quarterback, he just jammed his finger. So now it's time for the second string quarterback to step in and see what's gonna happen. What's gonna perform now, you know?
Right.
Because
exactly.
And that could be a terrible analogy. I don't know because I don't do sports.
No.
But yeah, I think that's kind of something that I was thinking about because I don't know what's gonna like. I still think Mockingbird is great now and it might even be better in that shell.
No, of course. Yeah, but the fact that it's shangable now, I think is what makes it that way.
But if you can get 6 cards out, you can just lay it down last turn, and now you can have maybe with Shuri. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, in this case, if you don't have priority, I think it works too.
Yeah, yep. Also, Kyera.
Now Kyera protects it. Wow.
Yeah, you can just drop Kyera.
That is true. I completely forgot about Kyera. This is huge. Yeah.
All right. So next change, nothing crazy, but and they actually announced this about an hour before, which I think was crazy. But you also know if this change was made kind of short, right before they did the change, they were like, oh, let's tell everybody.
Right. Yeah. I mean that had to happen. The talk had to happen because. What would have been the problem is if people saw this tomorrow and go,
"Oh, everyone would be pissed."
Yeah, like I would have got Hydra Bob if I knew it was a 1/5. Like, so they had to tell everybody.
You know what I did? I still didn't get Hydra Bob. I said, oh, it's gonna be a 1/5. Great. That's fine. Yeah. But I mean, more power to you. Maybe I'll regret it later down the road. You know, maybe not. I don't know. But they changed Hydra Bob from a 1/4 to a 1/5. It's in the OTA, but they already announced it, so it's not really big whoop-de-doo news or nothing like that. But you guys get it. So I'm not even gonna talk about that much. I don't think we even need to really.
No. But if you're a Cerebral player, I think you'll be happy, right? Cerebral 5 is back now. So
with Black Swan
but
too.
Yeah. So not bad.
Yeah, another 1/5.
Yeah. On to the next. One of my favorite cards, dear to my heart, because that was the first card I ever got to preview and make a video on the official Marvel Snap, and it was Ravonna Renslayer. When I did that video, she was a 3 cost. Nobody liked that card. And I had high hopes for her, and they made her a 2 cost, which was fantastic. Now they're removing some of her power. And I know Second Dinner loves to do this sometimes to make people stop playing the card, and it might work. Maybe.
Not for me.
I mean, not for me either. I still love her. I'm gonna the Sage list that I play, I'm playing her nonstop. But now you got to think about: if it's a negative list, do I want to use Zabu instead of Ravonna, even though it's on reveal? Now you're gonna really think about that whole chemistry. But if you're still playing Erisham or you're playing anything with Iron Man, Taskmaster, Mystique, Ravonna at a 2/2 is still a better play.
Yeah, and I honestly. I feel like in a negative list, it kind of works out better for like later. Like if you do end up playing Mr. Negative on 4, Ravonna's not going to change. She's going to stay the same.
Right.
You know.
Correct.
So I actually don't hate that because sometimes I end up using Ravonna to help with my Sage in my Mr. Negative decks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So to me, I actually don't mind this change.
No.
And I think it's fine because in these decks that Ravonna's using, for the most part, unless you're playing goblins, you're going to be playing with multiplicative power anyways, because you got Iron Man, you got Taskmaster, you got Mystique, you got all these things that are not really using a lot. So it doesn't really matter her power necessarily. So I think this is a good change because she is a card that once Zabu, just like we were mentioning earlier, when something gets, you know, kind of moved away, somebody has to step up. And Ravonna kind of stepped up as that kind of pseudo Zabu. And I love Ravonna. I wish that Zabu was still a thing, but obviously
you saw what's happening with him though, right? I mean, I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but the activate ability just coming out with the Spider-Man in the September season. They're gonna have a new thing called Activate.
Yeah.
And people are hearing that Zabu will be one of those cards. So now you can play Zabu on any turn, and then when you're ready, you activate his ability. So let's say you play him on turn 2, at least you can wait until turn 5 now to activate his ability.
Yeah.
And now next turn, all your cards will be 4 costs. I think that's pretty cool. So
I think that's a way better.
100%.
Way better change than just making him an on reveal. Because it was man.
It sucks. I mean, the only way you could actually work with it was actually playing him on a turn and playing Grandmaster, or playing him on Wong to make all your 4-cost cards go to 0. I think would be awesome too. But at what point do you need to do that, right? So it's a very interesting change. But the activate would be fun. Yeah. I think that will be the fun part.
Yeah, that'd be great. I've been waiting for them to do something like that for a long time, anyways. And I know it's not 100% confirmed and whatnot, and we'll see. Yeah. But I'm excited about that. And the next change, actually, I did not see this coming at all. This card got touched, and I was not thinking about it. They took away some of the RNG from Viper. It used to be one of your cards here switches sides. Now it is going to the same power and same cost, but one of your cards here with the lowest power switches sides. So basically it's whichever card is lower, but if they're the same, it's random. So
yes,
it can still screw you over.
Right. I mean, I get it. What are we vipering over? Just the lowest power anyway, right? That's what we hope for.
Better not be over there.
Right. You want to viper the hood, right? You want to viper over the void. You want to viper over maybe a Luke Cage when somebody's playing Ajax. Who knows? You know? Right. So I think this works. I think like you said, they're probably looking to remove the RNG factor from a lot of cards. They did the same thing with Stegron on the last update. Now he hits cards to the right? Yeah. Now there's no guessing where it's going to go. So I think they're trying to do that, which I hope is to kind of gear towards some type of competitive scene. That'd be nice. But nonetheless, taking away the RNG from these type of cards don't hurt the card, because it still does exactly what you want it to do, which is send over your lowest power card anyway. Yeah,
I think it's also to combat another prevalent card that has been like everywhere, which is White Widow.
Yeah, despise that card.
It's such an annoying card,
despise that card.
This past week has been just White Widow activity everywhere.
Well, because of the hot location, which is bananas.
Yeah, man, and it was just crazy time. Every time I get ready to do anything, White Widow. Widow.
Despised it.
It's terrible, man. So I think that this will help out a lot. And maybe people will think twice before they start White Widowing everywhere. That sounds gross.
That sounds, back to Ravonna real quick. Cerebro 2 will work great now, because now Mystique and Cerebro gets a buff from Ravonna for going out 1 cost. So
that actually
not bad.
Crazy.
I think we need to make a Cerebro 2 deck coming, guys.
Yep.
Tech versus Loopy during his wonderful July 26th streamathon. All right.
Oh man, is that what we're gonna do? A Ravonna Cerebro 2 battle?
I think so.
That honestly, we should have a tournament where it's just Cerebro.
I'm down for that.
That would be
sponsored
crazy.
by PWROn Gaming, baby. Cerebro tournament only. Cerebro Anarchy. Cerebro Madness.
Yeah, you just have to bring Cerebro in. It doesn't matter which version you're playing.
Which version you pick, right? The Cerebro. The Cerebro Assassin tournament. I love it. Yeah. We're good to go.
It sounds good.
Too much. We're doing too much. All right. Next card.
Yeah. So you got this one, man. You good?
Yeah. All right. So Sauron is on reveal. Remove the ability to all ongoing cards. Now I love Sauron. Met him in the old school Savages deck with Red Skull, Shuri, etc. Now it goes from a 3/3 to a 3/4. Not a very big change, but I think them doing this is gonna make people want to play Sauron more.
Yeah.
I think right now Sauron, this doesn't really do much besides give him that boost in power. And why aren't people playing Sauron more? I have no idea. I mean, this Shuri Red Skull package is great. I just wish Shuri gets changed back to what she was, or like I've been aiming for and pleading for, is not the next card, but the next card you play in that lane. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely feel you. I think that the reason why people stop playing the Shuri Sauron package basically is just because it's very combo intensive. You have to hit that combo properly. If you don't, then you're gonna be lacking some power. If you don't get Sauron, then now your Red Skull is kind of useless to an extent.
Yeah.
If you don't get Sauron, if you don't get Shuri, then you're not getting a lot of power where you want it to be. If you don't have Taskmaster, then you can't replicate that. So there's so many different combos that you have to like hope that you're getting with that package. And it used to be a lot more simpler. And I think that there are things that are simpler to play that have more power. And it's less combo intensive. So that's why people are not playing it as much. But I don't think this change is going to change that necessarily. Going to a 3/4, especially on Sauron, who he keeps the deck together, but he's not really the thing that's making it
I don't
what
need
it
to
is.
play it right. Exactly.
You know? So
and and I think it's because Chavez was one of the cards in the card list.
Yeah.
Now that Chavez has I wish I miss old Chavez, but
R.I.P.
because she's not part of it. Nobody's playing this card as much. So I get it.
Yep, I completely understand. Yep, we got WereWolf By Night coming in. They decided to change him to a 3/2 as opposed to a 3/1. I don't know exactly how much this is gonna make us want to play him as much anymore. Still, I still find it a little clunky. Sometimes it's fun to play him. I like to do my my Guardians by Night deck with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, with WereWolf By Night. I thought that was pretty fun, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like because you only have 4 cards to play in a location, then Werewolf just kind of feels a little clunky, and that's why people don't play him as much.
Correct. But that's why he's only good in bounce, right? That's the kind of package you get to, take back some of the cards out the lane, make them flip around so much. I mean, I think I prefer them at a 3/1 only because of Ravonna. You get that cheap cost Werewolf by Night. But the +2 power, I get it. I mean, with 2 now instead of 1, and he goes straight to 4 on the first flip, and then 6, and then 8. I get it versus going to 3 and then 6. So I understand the reason why, because now he gets a higher power. So for those people who love bounce Werewolf by Night, I think this is perfect for them.
Yep. If only Beast was permanent, the Beast discount was permanent.
Yeah, I missed
probably
the old
where
Beast.
He fell off at a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Well, next we have on the list, which also can work great in a bounce list, is Hitmonkey. Hitmonkey was a 3/2, is now a 3/3. I think this is a great addition for him. Getting that being 5 power when you drop a card with it, or him by himself, is pretty good. A 3/5 is a great stat. So imagine dropping an extra card with him, putting that up to 3/7. That's bananas to me. But because that's basically putting you in Ajax power lane. Nonetheless, Hitmonkey is a great card. Love that card a lot, especially in negative decks. Back in the day when it was a 3/0, good times, or 4/0, forgot which one it was. But now that it's a 3/3, I think it's going to be great. I think Hitmonkey, people saying it's struggling, but I don't think it's been struggling. I think a lot of people would still be playing Hitmonkey, especially in the Sarah packages. But nonetheless, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's just it's not as popular is all. I do think that it takes a bigger brain to kind of like decide, because you have to think a few steps ahead, right?
Yeah.
But people still play it. I've seen it every now and then.
Me too.
But it's very, very scarce. I do remember back in the day when it was in negative decks, and that was
a great time.
Yeah.
The problem with some of these cards, especially Hitmonkey and Werewolf, you got to do a lot to get them up there. When cards like the best card in Marvel Snap, Sage. Yeah. Just drop her in a Wong in a lane with a couple cards, and
I always make that comparison.
Yeah. I'm just being real. Yeah. That's what it is now. Like, why do I need to worry about dropping a Mysterio and 2 other cards and Bishop in a lane just to get Hitmonkey to like 310, 315 when I could just put Wong and Sage in a lane
Ravonna, Wong,
with two other
Sage,
cards.
Taskmaster.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like, why do I even need to do this? And it sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks that that's the case, but because these cards are cool, but
simple is better. You know, there it is. A card that you can lay down. It does its thing. That is going to be one of the top cards. It does its thing well. You know, that's where you're going to have your Shang-Chi's, you know. That's when you have your Infinite or your Red Hulks. You ain't got to do the lazy cards, man. You got to do nothing when they just do their job. That's it.
That's correct.
You know.
But I know some people want to be like, hey, I'm killing it with Hitmonkey. I'm doing all the cool flips things with Werewolf. I'm happy for you. Congratulations. You are amazing.
I'm an old
Props
man.
to you. Yes. I'm about to say, I like my things nice and simple. Like you said, put my stuff down, it works. That's it. I'm an Infinite fan. Infinite's my #1 card. So go from there. Take it as you will.
All right. Last but not least, we got some changes to the good boy, LockJaw.
Yes.
Nothing, you know, it's kind of crazy new. It says after you play your card, swap it with a card in your deck. 4/4 now. So
it's back.
I'm looking at this and no more once per turn.
Yeah, it's back. It's back. It's back to its old days. I mean, I think it was a 3 cost back in the day.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah. It's back to just taking those stones and dumping them in LockJaw and see what pops up.
I can't wait because this is besides the changes to Blob and to Mockingbird. I think this was the biggest change because I miss the days. Because I mean, I remember back in the day, Ocean Mud had his deck. I think it was a like hella LockJaw. When I remember, like when I first started getting in, I first started getting into Snap, and I remember him playing that, and I was like, this deck is crazy. You can do so much stuff on the last turn. It's like it's a LockJaw lottery, but now at least we don't have to spend $1 a day, which is nice.
Correct.
You know,
which is way better. And with being a 4 cost, it means you only got 2 turns. I mean, when Harry was at Create a Clash and he used it with Thanos, it just blew the whole thing wide open. And I think that's pretty good to put it back where it was. And like I said, shout out to Second Dinner for doing these changes because they realized nobody's playing LockJaw anymore. Why would they?
Yeah, because it's not fun.
So now you made it fun. Now you made it fun again for us to take our chances. We know what's in our decks. And let's not forget, Erisham with LockJaw? Oh my goodness. This is about to be a fun time.
It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be crazy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean that's all the changes we got so far for this week. I mean I don't know about you, but I think this is a pretty hype OTA. And I don't say that about every OTA.
Right.
Some of them just be kind of like, this one is actually pretty. This looks like it's gonna be pretty fun.
Exactly. I'm glad that's why we did this video for this one because this is definitely going to be a big change for a lot of people. No more mirror matching with Rogue and stuff and Mystique for Blob. Now we have, instead of playing Sasquatch, why am I playing Sasquatch anymore? Mockingbird is the big thing now, right? With the 610.
Why don't you
Viper,
play both?
Sauron. Yeah, now you can. You're right. Viper, Sauron, maybe. Okay, whatever. But WereWolf By Night, for those bounce players and Hitmonkey, they're going to be super happy. And like you said, LockJaw is back. So it's going to be a fun time. I cannot wait to see what you guys think about these changes. Of course, leave a comment down below. Let us know if you like this type of content from myself and Loopy. We're going to try to do this every OTA. It's going to be super fun. Yeah. And we see what you guys think about it. Let us know.
All right. Later, guys.
All right. Peace.
Are you the Hip Squad?
No.
Captain Marvel jumping to the left.
Are you guys ready?
You guys are fancy.
Yes.
Nice. Oh my.
That's 3 strikes already. Team Yellow wins Snapperty.
He has gone undefeated in the ring.
Taking it back home with me, ladies and gentlemen.
That created a very interesting meta.
It's going to be epic. We got some awesome competitors here. +1. Misty Knight going to the right.
Gets him over the top. And Rocco Sacco wins it in an amazing final game.
Rocco Sacco is your SnapCon 2023 champion.